Rarely since the end of military dictatorship in 1985 has Brazil experienced such huge protests. Tens of thousands have been on the streets of some of the country's major cities. They've been demonstrating against the costs of staging next year's World Cup. They've been calling instead for more spending on public services. Well, in the past few minutes, one of our correspondents in Sao Paulo has told us that demonstrators have been trying to gain access to the official residence of the governor of the state of Sao Paulo, and police have fired tear gas at those demonstrators, the ones who tried to breach the perimeter gate. The governor is said to have remained inside during the protests. There are some of the demonstrators still in the area who have lit fires in a street at one of the entrances to the Bandeirantes Palace, is the official name of that residence of Geraldo Alckmin, the governor of Sao Paulo state. Well, let's speak to Daniel Acosta. He's in Sao Paulo. He's been taking part in the protest. Daniel, when you were out in the streets, it was much calmer. What was it like?
Oh, actually, it was a bit tense, but compared to the other protests we had throughout the week, today was, at least until the point I was there, it was much better because there was no violence until this point.
Yes.
If probably it's still going on, so I'm not sure how it's going right now. But at the moment that I left, it was everything peaceful.
Yes, because last week, of course, the police were firing rubber bullets in your city. How long is this going to continue before the government begins some sort of dialogue with you?
Well, they started today. They were speaking to the leaders of the movement today. So apparently things are getting better now. They started hearing the people. So I guess things are beginning to move now in a positive way. No bullets today. So.
This is surely about more than the Football World Cup, because you guys in Brazil, you want the Football World Cup, but I understand completely the issue about more money being spent on public services. Where can that money come from?
I mean, a World Cup, you see, of course, Brazilians love soccer, we love football, we love, this is our national sport, but there are so many other things that lack in this country that people just can't stand. Have Olympic games and this huge soccer game which spends thousands of our money, while there are people dying in hospitals. So I mean, of course we like soccer, but not at the cost of our people, of our lives. A lot of people is very unhappy with that. So I don't know. We can't even guarantee our own security. So how are we supposed to guarantee foreigners' security when this whole thing happens here in Brazil?
Okay, Daniel Acosta, we appreciate your time. Thank you for talking to us. Let's stay with this theme. Eric Cameras, the Americas editor for BBC World Service, he's been explaining how the original protests in Sao Paulo last week has now spread right across Brazil.
It all started with a relatively minor cause, which is a bus fare hike of around 10%. So it's not that high. But as you say, in 6-7 days, it became a national movement, nearly taking over more than 10 cities, the streets of 10 cities around Brazil. And it is surprising. But if you see that it could be, many people say it's the tip of the iceberg. It's people use the bus fare rise as a good argument to go back to things that have been angering them for a long time, and perhaps one of the catalysts for that was police violence, which happened on the night of Thursday last week, when in São Paulo police videos show that police started firing rubber bullets and also tear gas on protesters who were only chanting no violence. So after that, I think that struck a chord with the population, and it just very spontaneously started happening in different cities.
OK, let's talk about two of the issues that these people are protesting against. First of all, let's talk about the cost of staging the World Cup and also the Olympic Games. Andrew Zimbalist is a very respected American economist. He's an expert on Latin America. He says private and public investment in Brazil, the total spend on the infrastructure that the country is going to improve leading up to those two big events is going to be $1 trillion. So these people are getting the money spent on the things that they want spent, surely.
Well, there is a lot of money being invested, and that is true. But the key thing for us to understand here is that most people can't see where this money is going. And on the other hand, when you see delays in stadiums being built and over-budget stadiums, that's very easy to relate to. That's very easy to see. And this is, I think, this is where people are looking at this moment. Perhaps in 2 years' time, or when the Olympics come, there will be a better infrastructure in place, and people will be less angry about the public money spending. But that remains to be seen. OK,
the other issue that they're protesting is corruption, very high-level corruption, they say, across government, across local government, in town councils, etc., etc. And that is nothing new in Brazil. This is a thing that people have been upset about for a long, long time. Dilma Rousseff, the president, is supposed to be the champion of anti-corruption. What's she doing about it?
Well, she's certainly seen as tough on corruption. But this is a problem, as you say, that has been a long-running problem in Brazil. And it's very hard to just stamp it out. It's been, there have been progresses. Perhaps critics would say that the progresses haven't been as quick, as fast as they should have happened. But for the people, I think the underlying feeling is that the changes are not happening at the pace that they would have liked to see.
Eric Kammerer of BBC's World Service there.